Hi, this is Mr. Samir. Today we will have a revision. First, find the surface area of the figure. Second, find the volume. The figure, guys, is what? Is a rectangular prism with dimensions 9, 6, and 1 and 2 over 3. So write the dimensions 9, 6, 1 and 2 over 3. We can write it as 5 over 3 as an improper fraction. First, to find the total surface area equals what? Equals length times width plus length times height plus width times height. We studied before. All this product times what? Times 2. Now we will have 9 times 6 first equals what? Equals 54. Second, guys, 9 times 5 over 3. 9 times 5 over 3. You can simplify. Divided by 3 equals 1. Divided by 3 equals 3. Now 3 times 5 equals 15. Next, 6 times 5 over 3. Simplify. Divided by 3 equals 1. Divided by 3 equals 2. So 2 times 5 equals 10. Now to find the total surface area, we'll add all the product. 54 plus 15 plus 10 equals 79. 79, don't forget to multiply by 2. We have 2 here in the rule. Now 2 times 79 equals what? Equals 158 square feet. This is the total surface area. To find the volume, guys, just multiply or find the product of the 3 dimensions. Length times width times height. This is the rule. Length is what, guys? 9 times 6 is width times 5 over 3 as an improper fraction. We can simplify. 9 is divisible by 3 equals 3. Now 3 times 6 equals 18. 18 times 5 equals what, guys? Equals 90. So here the volume, it will be 90 cubic feet. Next, guys, in the opposite figure, find the surface area of the cuboid and the volume of the cuboid. It's the same. To find here the total surface area, ask yourself what are the dimensions. The dimensions are 3, 2, and 1.5. We can write it as 1.5. We can write it 1.5 as 1 and 1/2. As a fraction, it will be 3 over 2. Now we have the dimensions 3, 2, and 3 over 2. First, we will multiply 3 by 2 equals what? Equals 6. Second, 3 by 3 over 2. It will be 9 over 2. 9 over 2 means what, guys? Means 4 and 1/2. Last, we have 2 times 3 over 2. We can simplify. It will be here 3. Now add all the products. 6 plus 3 equals 9. 9 plus 4 equals what, guys? Equals 13. So we have here 13 and 1/2. Now total surface area equals 13 and 1/2 times what, guys? Times 2. Don't forget the rule. Now 13 and 1/2, we can write it as 27 over 2 as improper fraction times 2. Now we can simplify 2 with 2. It will be 27 square inch. This is the total surface area. To find the volume, just multiply the 3 dimensions. 3 times 2 times 3 over 2. 3 times 2 times 3 over 2. We can simplify. So it will be 3 times 3 equals what? Equals 9 cubic inch. This is the volume of the rectangular prism. Next, guys, in the opposite figure, number A, find the area of the square. We have the square here with side lengths 1 and 1/2 feet. How can we find the area of the square? We studied before. The area of the square equals its side lengths times itself. It means s squared. So it will be 2 and 1/2 times 2 and 1/2. We can write 2 and 1/2 as what? As 5 over 2 as improper fraction. We studied before. So it will be 5 times 5 equals 25. 25 over what? 25 over 4. We can write it as a decimal. Just multiply by 25 up and down. It will be 625 over what? Over 100. Now insert the decimal point after 2 digits from the right. It will be 6.25 square what, guys? Square feet. This is the area of the square. To find the area of rectangle, we will multiply the 2 dimensions, length times width. We studied before the formula to find here the area of the rectangle. It will be 8.6 times 6.2. How can we multiply 8.6 times 6.2? We studied before, guys. 8.6 times 6.2. Ignore the decimal point. Then Then we can multiply 86 by 62. 2 times 6 equals 12. Write 2 and keep 1. 2 times 8 equals 16. 16 plus 1 equals what, guys? Equals 17. Don't forget to write 0 in one's place. 6 times 6 equals 36. Write 6 and keep 3 up. Now 6 times 8 equals 48. 48, guys, plus 3 equals 51. Now we can add the two partial products. 2, 7 plus 6 equals 13. 13, write 1. 1 over 1, it will be 2. 2 plus 1 equals 3. And bring down 5. Don't forget to bring the decimal point after 2 digits from the right. Why? Because we have here 1 decimal place and 1 decimal place in the factors. So we have 2 decimal places. So insert the decimal point after 2 decimal places from the right. Now the area of the rectangle equals 53.32 square what? Square centimeter. Next, in the opposite figure, number A, find the area of the parallelogram. We studied before that the area of parallelogram, guys, equals base times height. What is the base, guys? The base here is a side of parallelogram. It will be 3. 3 times what? 1 and 1/2. We can write it as 1.5. Now we can multiply. Ignore the decimal point. 3 times 15 equals what? Equals 45. And insert the decimal point after 1 digit from the right. It will be 4.5 square feet. Now, how can you find the area of triangle? The area of triangle equals what? Half base times height, or base times height divided by 2. We can write it as area equals half times base times height. Base equals what? 10 and 1/2. Now we have 1/2 times 10 and 1/2 times the height. It will be 5 inch. Now we can simplify. 1/2 times 10 and 1/2, we can write it as an improper fraction. It will be 21 over 2 times what? Times 5. Now we can simplify. No simplification. It will be 21 times 5. 5 times 1 equals 5. 5 times 2 equals 10. Now it will be 105 divided by 2 times 2 equals what? Equals 4. Now we can simplify. 10 divided by 4 equals what, guys? Equals 2. The remainder will be 1. Now 15 divided by 4 equals what? Equals 3. 3 times 4 equals 12. And the remainder here, guys, it will be 3. Now we have 3 over 4. We can write it as 105 divided by 4 as 23, and 3 over 4 square what? Square inch. Now you can do the exercise. Find the area of each figure. The first we have here parallelogram, next triangle, next triangle, square, rectangle, rectangle. Second, find the surface area and the volume of each solid. The first solid, guys, is a cube. The second solid is a cube with each length 5 meters. Next, write each equation. Double of a number equals 15. Suppose that the number equals x or x. So double means what? Means 2x. Now 2x equals what, guys? Equals 15. So the equation will be 2x equals 15. Next, triple of z is 42. Triple means multiply by 3. So it will be 3 times z is means equal 42. It will be 3z equals 42. This is the equation. Next, the quotient of x and y when x is divisible by y equals 9. Now x is divisible by y means x divided by what, guys? Divided by y equals what? Equals 9. This is the equation. Next, the quotient of a number divided by 5 equals 20. If the number here is what, guys? Is x. We can find it as x divided by 5 equals what? Equals 20. We can write it as x over 5 equals 20. We can write it as x divided by 5 equals 20. It will be the equation. Next, 4 more than the quotient of. Now the quotient of a number and 6 is 40. The quotient of a number and 6. The quotient of a number and 6 is 40. So the quotient of a number x and 6 is 40 equals 40, and 4 more than means a plus, so it will be 4 plus x over 6 equals 40. Now 4 more than, so it will be 4 plus the quotient of a number, you can say x and 6. It will be x over 6 equals 40. This is the equation. Next, a number subtracted from 29. This number, it will be x. Subtracted from 29, so we will start with 29 minus x equals, guys, is equal to what? 11. So the equation will be 29 minus x equals 11. Finally, a number subtracted from 7.7. This number is what? Is equal to 3.4. This number is x. Subtracted from 7.7, so we will start from 7.7. Minus number, it will be x equals what? Equals 3.4. This is the equation. It will be 7.7 minus x equals 3.4. Next, solve for x. Number 1, x plus 8 equals 12. This is addition equation. How can we find the value of x? We will use here the inverse operation. The inverse operation of addition is subtraction. We can circle plus 8 and move it to the other side to be subtracted. Now x equals what, guys? Equals 12 minus 8. Now x equals what? Equals 4. Next, x minus 1.2 equals 4.7. This is subtraction equation. How can we find the value of x? We will circle minus 1.2 and move it to the other side to be added. Now x, guys, equals 4.7 plus 1.2. Now x equals what, guys? 7 plus 2 equals 9. Bring down the decimal point. 4 plus 1 equals 5. So the value of x, it will be 5.9. Next, 4x equals 5.52. How can we find here the value of x? By using inverse operation. We will divide both sides by 4, the coefficient of 4. Now x equals what, guys? Equals 5.52 divided by 4. We can find it directly. 5 divided by 4 equals 1. The remainder will be 1, guys. It will be 15. Don't forget to bring down the decimal point. 15 divided by 4 equals 3. 3 times 4 equals 12. The remainder will be 3. Now 32 divided by 4, guys, equals what? Equals 8. Now the value of x, it will be 1.38. You can find it directly. You can find it by using long division. Number 4, x over 7 equals 3.2. To find the value of x, just we will multiply both sides by 7. Now x equals what, guys? Equals 3.2 times 7. How can we find the value of x now? Just multiply. 7 by 2 equals 14. Write 4 and keep 1. 7 times 3 equals 21. 21 plus 1 equals what, guys? Equals 22. Don't forget to insert the decimal point after one digit from the right. Now we will put the decimal point. Now x equals 22.4. Next, by the same way, x over 3 equals 8. To find the value of x here, we will multiply both sides by 3. It's a division equation. Now, guys, x equals what? Equals 8 times 3. We studied before that 8 times 3 equals what? Equals 24. This is the value of x. Finally, 2x plus 3 equals 5. How can we find the value of x? We will circle 3 and move it to the other side to be subtracted. We will get 2x equals 5 minus 3. Now 2x equals 5 minus 3 equals 2. Divide both sides by the coefficient of x to find the value of x. Now x equals what, guys? Equals 1. This is the value of x. Finally, solving the equations with fractions. Solve for x. 1/2 x equals 7. To find the value of x, we will divide both sides by the coefficient of x. Now x, guys, equals 7 divided by what? Divided by 1/2. How can we divide two fractions we studied before? Just multiply the first by the reciprocal of the second. What is the reciprocal of 1/2 equals 2? So x equals 7 times 2. Now x, guys, equals what? Equals 14. This is the value of x. Next, x plus 1/2 equals 5 over 6. To find the value of x, this is an addition equation. We will circle 1/2 and move it to the other side to be subtracted. Now we can write x equals 5 over 6 minus 1/2. Keep the same denominator multiplying by 3. Now x, guys, equals what? Equals 5 over 6 minus 3 over 6. It will be, guys, keep the same same denominator, which is 6. 5 minus 3 equals 2. It will be 2 over 6 in the simplest form equals 1 over 3. Next, 2 over 5x equals 14 over 25. By the same way, guys, we will move 2 over 5 to be divided. Why? We will use here the inverse operation. So, x equals 14 over 25 divided by, guys, 2 over 5. Now, we can divide two fractions easily. Now, x equals what? 14 over 25. Multiply the reciprocal of the second, it will be 5 over 2. We can simplify. Divided by 2 equals 1, divided by 2 equals 7, divided by 5 equals 1, divided by 5 equals 5. Now, x equals 7 times 1 over 5 times 1. It will be 7 over 5. We can write it as a mixed number. 7 divided by 5 equals 1, and the remainder will be 2 over 5. This is the value of x. Next, x over 11 equals 3 over 22. To find the value of x, we can write it as 1 over 11. X equals 3 over 22. By the same way, we will divide both sides by 1 and over 11, by the fraction 1 over 11. Now, x equals 3 over 22 divided by 1 over 11. Now, how can we divide two fractions? By the same way, multiply the first fraction by the reciprocal of the second one. Now, x, guys, equals what? X equals 3 over 22 times 11 over 1. We can simplify. It will be 3 over 2. This is the value of x. We can write it as a mixed number. It will be 1 and 1 over 2. 1 and 1 half. Next, 4x over 3 equals 100. To find the value of x, we will move 4 over 3 to be divided. Now, x equals 100 divided by 4 over 3. It means 100 times 3 over 4. We can simplify. Divided by 4 equals 1. Divided by 4 equals 25. Now, x equals 25 times 3 equals what, guys? Equals 75. Now, this is the value of x.